You know so much, don't you? You understand shadow work, timelines, higher self, inner child, nervous system regulation, and manifestation techniques. You could explain spiritual concepts better than most people around you. Yet, when you look at your actual life, the same patterns quietly repeat themselves. The same triggers, the same relationships, the same self-sabotage wearing slightly different faces. This creates a silent ache inside you, a sense that you're missing something essential. And if any part of you feels exposed or deeply seen right now, take that as a sign that this message belongs to you. Stay with it, save this energy, follow this path, because the version of you who finally breaks this loop is already moving toward you as you listen. You have nights where you say, "This time it's different, this time I really got it." And for a few days you feel lighter and clearer. Then suddenly, something small happens, and your old reactions snap back like an elastic band. You find yourself behaving in ways your conscious mind has already outgrown, and afterward you judge yourself harshly. You think, "How can I know all of this and still do that?" That judgment cuts deeper than any outside criticism ever could. You don't just feel disappointed in your life, you feel disappointed in yourself. And this disappointment makes you reach for more information, more courses, more readings, trying to fill an inner gap that never seems to stay full. You scroll through spiritual content and feel a strange mix of relief and exhaustion. Relief because it confirms what you already know, and exhaustion because nothing feels truly new anymore. You save posts, you screenshot phrases, you write notes you almost never read again. Your mind feels crowded with wisdom, but your days still feel painfully familiar. It's like you're standing in a beautiful temple built entirely in your thoughts, while your outer world remains almost untouched by it. Somewhere inside, you whisper, "When is this going to become real?" And that question is the quiet cry of your soul, asking for embodiment instead of more theory. There's a split in you that you can feel but can't always name. One part of you speaks like a guide, giving advice to others, holding space, offering insight that genuinely helps people. Another part of you still collapses after small rejections, still abandons your own boundaries, still entertains what drains you. You might feel like two different selves living in the same body, the wise one and the wounded one. This inner duality makes you doubt your authenticity, as if your pain disqualifies your wisdom. Yet the truth is, this tension isn't proof that you're fake. It's proof that you're mid-transformation. You are not out of alignment. You are in the middle of aligning. You've started to notice that life keeps presenting the same lesson in different costumes. The faces change, the jobs change, the locations change, but the emotional pattern underneath is eerily similar. You attract situations that poke the same old wounds. Abandonment, invisibility, not being chosen, not feeling worthy, fearing you're too much or not enough. Each time you say, "I thought I had already healed this," and that sentence stings like a confession. It feels like you're trapped in a spiritual maze, where every turn leads you back to the same corner. But what if this maze is not punishment, but design? What if this repetition is how your soul insists you truly free yourself? So here you are, listening to these words, knowing that this isn't just another feel-good message. Something in you is tired of almost changing. Something in you is done living as if your awakening is always one more insight away. In this space, you are being met not just as a mind that understands, but as a being who is ready to embody. This is where the loop begins to loosen, not through pressure or force, but through clarity and honesty. And as you keep moving with this energy, your future self, the one who has already broken this cycle, is going to step forward, speak to you, and show you how they did it. For now, just breathe and stay open, because the story you've been repeating is about to be rewritten from the inside out. Your mind can understand something long before your body feels safe living it. This is one of the core reasons you know so much and change so slowly. Your nervous system was wired in environments where survival meant staying small, staying quiet, staying pleasing, or staying hypervigilant. Those patterns didn't form because you were weak. They formed because you were wise enough to adapt. Now your consciousness is expanding, but your body still thinks the old way of being is what keeps you alive. This mismatch creates friction, confusion, and fatigue. You're not crazy and you're not failing. You're simply living with two different timelines inside you at once. To your subconscious, all change, no matter how positive, initially registers as a potential threat. Even becoming happier, freer, or more visible can feel dangerous to the parts of you that learned safety through self-sacrifice or invisibility. That's why you can know you deserve more and still stay where you are. Information is safe because it doesn't require you to step into the unknown. Embodiment is risky because it asks you to actually test reality with a new version of yourself. So your system does what systems do. It conserves energy and returns to familiar pathways. It's not logic holding you back. It's loyalty to your past survival patterns. Energetically, you are broadcasting a frequency that reality continuously mirrors back to you. You might consciously affirm abundance, but unconsciously expect loss. You may speak of self-worth while still tolerating disrespect in subtle forms. The universe responds not just to your words, but to your dominant vibration. That vibration is shaped less by what you think once, and more by what you embody repeatedly. So you attract lessons that match your deepest energetic expectations, not your latest spiritual statement. This isn't the universe ignoring you. It's the universe being painfully accurate. There is also a part of your ego that loves spiritual theory because it keeps you busy without making you vulnerable. As long as you're working on yourself, you don't actually have to show up as your healed self in real life. As long as you're processing and analyzing, you don't have to risk being seen, rejected, or fully received. The ego cleverly turns spirituality into another form of control, collecting methods instead of surrendering to transformation. It says, "You're not ready yet, you still need more." And because that sounds responsible, you believe it. But underneath, it's simply afraid of who you'll become once you finally act. Some of your patterns are older than this lifetime. They feel heavy and persistent because they're woven through ancestral stories, cultural conditioning, and possibly karmic threads you agreed to untangle. You might carry emotional burdens that never started with you, but ended up on your shoulders. The fear of shining, the fear of speaking, the fear of receiving might have been inherited at the energetic level. That doesn't mean you're doomed to repeat what came before. It means your soul chose to incarnate as a pattern breaker and a lineage healer. And pattern breakers often feel stuck right before they break through. So no, you're not spiritually defective because your life doesn't yet match what you know. You are a being in recalibration, unlearning what once kept you safe and learning how to feel safe in a completely new way of existing. This is delicate and sacred work, and it doesn't show up perfectly on the outside at first. You are deprogramming fear and installing trust, not just in your mind, but in your whole field. The loop hasn't been a sign of your failure. It has been the echo of an old operating system still running in the background. And now, as you become conscious of it, you are already starting to rewrite it. What if the very frustration you feel is not a dead end, but a doorway? That heaviness when you say, "I'm tired of this," is not the collapse of your journey. It's the climax of an old cycle. It means you can no longer pretend that theory is enough for you. It means your soul is done drinking from shallow water and is pulling you toward the deeper river of embodiment. The emptiness after the insight, the boredom with repetition, the irritation with your own patterns, these are spiritual contractions. They signal that a new version of you is trying to be born. You are not stuck because nothing is happening. You are stuck because you are standing in the hallway between two identities. Behind you is the self who outsourced power to teachers, readings, and timelines. Ahead of you is the self who walks with God, source, universe inside their own chest. It's an awkward in-between. You no longer fully belong to your old life, but you don't fully inhabit your new one either. This liminal space can feel like floating in the dark, but it is actually holy ground. It's where old illusions dissolve and true alignment begins. The gap you feel between who you are and who you want to be isn't designed to shame you. It's designed to stretch you. It asks you, gently but relentlessly, what am I unwilling to keep pretending? You might realize you can no longer pretend a certain relationship fits your soul. You can no longer pretend your boundaries are negotiable. You can no longer pretend that your intuition doesn't already know the answer. That realization can hurt because it means letting go of identities, stories, and sometimes people you once clung to. Yet it's also the exact point where your life starts to become honest. What if you decided that you are not behind, you are ripening? A fruit that is ripening doesn't look impressive at every stage. Sometimes it looks wrinkled, awkward, in between forms. You might feel like that right now. Not as polished as you wish, not as aligned as you preach. But ripening is a process, not a performance. You are softening where you once hardened. You are cracking open where you once stayed shut. You are feeling where you once numbed. That is not regression. That is evolution. Sometimes your loop has to become painfully obvious so you can no longer bypass it with pretty words. The same type of person may keep entering your life until you finally choose differently. The same wound may keep resurfacing until you stop judging it and start loving it. The same self-betrayal may repeat until you no longer tolerate your own abandonment. This is not the universe picking on you. This is the universe showing you, again and again, where your yes and your no are still out of alignment with your soul. So instead of saying, "I should already be over this," try asking, "What is this trying to free me from once and for all?" That single shift from self-judgment to sacred curiosity changes the quality of your entire journey. It turns your pain into information and your patterns into portals. In that moment, you stop being just the victim of your loop and become the observer of it. And the observer is already closer to your future self. From here, you are ready to meet them, not as a fantasy, but as a version of you that already exists on a higher timeline, reaching back to help you rise. Close your eyes for a moment in your mind and imagine this. You are standing in a wide, quiet space filled with soft light. In front of you appears a version of you who feels strangely familiar and completely new at the same time. Their posture is relaxed. Their eyes are clear. Their presence is grounded yet luminous. There is no rush, no anxious striving in their energy. They are not perfect or untouchable. They are simply integrated. This is you after the loop has been broken, not because life became easy, but because you became aligned. Notice how your future self looks at you. There is no disappointment in their gaze, only deep compassion and understanding. They remember every moment you felt stuck, every night you cried, every time you almost gave up on yourself. They know your shame about not changing fast enough, and they don't buy into it for a second. To them, you were never a failure trying to become worthy. You were always a soul remembering who you already are. They step closer, and without words, you can feel them saying, "Thank you for getting us this far." If your future self could speak out loud to you right now, they might say something like this: "You didn't break the loop by discovering a brand new teaching. You broke it by finally living one simple truth consistently. You stopped searching for the perfect method and chose the path of radical honesty instead. You admitted where you were still lying to yourself, where you were still performing strength instead of honoring your tenderness. You stopped making your worth conditional on your progress. The moment you did that, your energy stopped spinning in circles and began to move forward. Your future self did not become who they are through grand rituals or dramatic cosmic events, although those may have appeared along the way. They became who they are through quiet daily choices that looked ordinary from the outside. They chose to respond differently when they were triggered, even if they could only hold it for a few seconds at first. They chose to walk away sooner from what drained them, instead of waiting for a collapse. They chose to tell the truth in small, vulnerable ways, even when their voice shook. These choices became pathways, and those pathways became a new reality. Your future self also wants you to know that they still feel fear sometimes, but the fear no longer drives the car. They still experience doubt, but they treat doubt as a visitor, not a ruler. They still face challenges, but they move through them anchored in a deeper trust. They stopped expecting spirituality to erase all discomfort and started using spirituality to stay present within discomfort. They stopped asking, "How do I avoid pain forever?" and started asking, "How do I stay true to myself, even when it hurts?" That shift changed everything. Now imagine your future self standing just behind you, placing their hands gently on your shoulders. Feel their steadiness seeping into your body, as if their timeline is merging with yours. They are not somewhere far away. They are a frequency you are learning to match. As you listen to these words, allow yourself to believe, even if only for a moment, that this version of you is real. Let their certainty replace your doubt for a breath. Let their love for you soften the hardness you've held against yourself. From this place, you are ready to hear how the loop actually breaks in your day-to-day life. The loop does not shatter in one explosive, cinematic moment. It loosens through repeated small acts of alignment that seem almost insignificant at first. You break the loop the morning you wake up anxious and choose not to numb out with mindless scrolling, but to sit with your breath for 2 minutes instead. You break the loop the day you say no to something that drains you, even though a part of you fears being rejected. You break the loop when you catch yourself spiraling into an old story and gently interrupt it with a different thought. These are not tiny things. They are energetic revolutions disguised as everyday decisions. Embodiment means taking one spiritual truth you already know and allowing it to shape your next action. If you know that you are worthy of respect, embodiment looks like no longer laughing off subtle disrespect, even in small jokes. If you know that you are supported by the universe, embodiment looks like making a choice that aligns with your soul even when you cannot see the full plan. If you know that your emotions are sacred messengers, embodiment looks like letting yourself cry or rest instead of powering through. You don't need 10 new teachings, you need one lived teaching. Your future self broke the loop by becoming radically consistent with small, soul-aligned choices. Not perfect, not rigid, but consistent. On the days when they slipped back into old patterns, they didn't spiral into shame for weeks. They noticed, acknowledged, and gently brought themselves back. They learned to say, "Oh, this is the old loop," instead of, "I'm such a failure." That shift in self-talk changed the energy of every setback. Setbacks became feedback, not verdicts. Another way the loop breaks is through the environment you choose to keep. Your future self didn't just change their mindset. They changed the spaces they stayed in. They let certain conversations fade, certain roles dissolve, certain expectations fall away. They stopped trying to convince people to understand their growth and started moving with those who could honor it. They curated what they consumed online, in media, in relationships because they realized their nervous system was always listening. Slowly, reality began to reflect their inner upgrades. Resistance did not disappear. It transformed. When resistance rose up, when it felt scary to set a boundary, to rest, to be visible, they started seeing it as a sign they were stepping out of the loop, not into danger. They met their fear with presence instead of panic. They might put a hand over their heart, breathe, and say, "We are safe to choose differently now." Over time, their body started to believe them. Their nervous system began to recognize safety not in the old familiar pain, but in new, healthier patterns. Right now, as you sit here, you can begin this same process. Ask yourself, what is one simple action my future self would take today that my current self has been avoiding? Maybe it's sending a message, ending something, beginning something, resting, or being honest with someone important. It doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be true. When you act from that place, even once, you send a new signal into your field. You tell life, "I am ready to live what I know." And life always responds to that kind of clarity. Your future self is not separate from your higher self. They are a human, time-bound expression of the wisdom your soul has always carried. When you connect with this version of you, you are really connecting with the deeper truth of who you've been all along. Every time you pause, breathe, and ask, what would my future self do in this moment? You invite that higher frequency into your present body. You turn a distant possibility into an immediate guide. You stop worshiping futures that never arrive and start embodying them now, in small but powerful ways. Imagine walking down a hallway with many doors, each one labeled with a different version of your life. One door has the label of your old loop. Same patterns, same stories, same emotional weather. Another door has the label of your future self. Embodied, aligned, honest, peaceful even in the midst of challenge. Every time you choose a new response, you are stepping closer to that second door. At some point, without fireworks, you realize you have actually walked through it. Your life may still have storms, but you are no longer the same in them. That is the real miracle. Breaking the loop doesn't mean you'll never feel triggered or lost again. It means that when you do, you won't abandon yourself the way you used to. You won't rush to escape your feelings or betray your truth to keep the peace. You will remember who you are more quickly each time. Recovery becomes faster, self-forgiveness becomes gentler, and alignment becomes your default home. The loop isn't gone because life changed. The loop is gone because you no longer choose from the version of you that created it. As you move forward from this moment, you can create a living relationship with your future self. You can write to them, ask for guidance before sleep, imagine their presence with you in difficult conversations. You can let their energy be a template for how you hold yourself. The more real they become in your inner world, the more naturally you begin to act like them in your outer world. Eventually, there comes a day when you realize that the future self you once visualized is simply who you are now. And you smile because you remember moments like this when you almost doubted it was possible. So here is the invitation. You no longer have to be the person who knows all the spiritual theory but nothing changes. That identity is expired. You are allowed to be the one who quietly, courageously begins to live what you know. Not perfectly, not for show, but sincerely. If this message has stirred something awake in you, don't let it fade as just another piece of content. Anchor it, save it, return to it when you forget. And if you feel called, follow this space so we can keep walking this path of embodiment together. Your loop is not stronger than your soul. Your patterns are not more powerful than your presence. The fact that you are still here, still listening, still willing, means your transformation is already in motion. Take a breath and feel your future self standing with you, not ahead of you. You are not waiting to become them. You are unveiling them choice by choice, day by day. And as you do, your life will quietly testify to a simple, profound truth. You were never just meant to know the path. You were meant to walk it.